Well, welcome to the Okanagan Forest Channel. You can see I'm right in the middle of a barbecue here, and I had such success with the buffalo that I just wanted to do a simple barbecue and do a little bit more of that barbecue buffalo because it was so good. I do also want to show you one thing while this is cooking. This is my starter. Little piece of wax paper rolled up with little stuff inside, and that's how I started. So today I'm using two kinds of wood, apple and some cherry. And you can see what's going on. I also am using this grill here because I like that, and that I can put into the microwave, and into the dishwasher and wash. Now, does that look like that's cooking that? That's just an inexpensive hamburger from the grocery store, but it really cooks up nice. And I'm not using briquettes or anything else. I'm just using my deadwood stove, which I happen to really enjoy. We'll go ahead and put that down here now. And I'm going to put some more buffalo up on the grill and let it start cooking. Of course, it'll quiet down considerably because there isn't as much noise and not so much grease coming off the barbecue, off the buffalo. I want to turn it. I've got a good bed of coals down in the deadwood stove, so it's not going to take very long for these to cook. I want to point out, maybe you can see right in the front there, some of the tools I actually use on a regular basis for chopping this hardwood, and that helps a lot. Here are some of the little applewood twigs that I put in to keep the fire going and kind of measure it. You can see this is really cooking quickly. One sticking a little bit. Maybe if I do them like that, it'll work a little better. One of the things I do is I use one of these nice welder gloves that I got with my deadwood stove, and then I can just pick up the grill and do anything I want to do at any time. You might also notice that I'm not using the legs on my deadwood stove today. I built a little base that I can sit it on, and that's real handy because then when it does cool off, I just pick up the stove and dump out the small amount of ashes. But the point of this video is just to simply say that doing a barbecue on a deadwood stove is just really a simple matter. And again, after purchasing the stove, I don't have any other expenses. The wood is all wood I've gotten for free locally, apple and cherry, and it's that apple and cherry that gives the meat such a great flavor. That's the buffalo that I cooked the other day was just absolutely outstanding, so I had to have some more. So I went out hunting around, found some more buffalo, and that's what I'm putting up here. Now, I'll tell you the truth. You can do a real nice shish kebab and put on some tomatoes and other vegetables and things like that on here, and that would work just fine too. Once you've got all of your fuel in order, it's a simple matter to light. You just use a little starter like this. I actually started by having the starter come out this side, but now I have it come out the other air hole, and I just light it. Boy, I'll tell you, it takes off every time without a problem. And that's, I guess, partly the experience that I'm getting from using my deadwood stove. The best way to get good at cooking on it is to use it. And I'll tell you, I really have enjoyed this thing. I think if you want to do a real quick barbecue at home, or if you want to take it with you into a wilderness setting as an outfitter or as camp chef or whatever, either way, it just works great. And it doesn't take much fuel. I can see that these things are almost finished. I'll turn them a little more. Like I was saying the other day, with your buffalo, you don't want to cook it until it tastes like the sole of your boot. You just want to cook it. And that's what I'm doing here. Of course, if you buy the prepared patties, like I was cooking a moment ago, from the the store, they're going to have quite a bit of fat in them, and they're going to really really create some flame as that fat burns down into the stove. While I'm turning this over, let me also say one of the things I do, because there is a little grease involved here, a little oil or burn off from your meat. If you're cooking like this, you can see on the side of the stove that it's dripped down a little bit. Before the stove gets cold, I'll take and wipe it off real good. And then I have some stove black paint that I use to maintain the stove and keep it from rusting, because after all, the biggest enemy of your deadwood stove is rust. And I'll just use a little gasoline on a rag and wipe it clean, and then spray it with a little of that stove black, and it's as good as new. So I hope you've enjoyed this follow-up simple barbecue video. That's just how easy it is to make hamburgers on a deadwood stove, or for that matter almost anything else. I'm going to cook this buffalo just a little bit more. Keep turning it. It's not hard, it's simple. Sure is fun. You know, as I cook this buffalo, I think of a time when I was working on a ranch as a wrangler in the Southwest, and they had a herd of buffalo. On one occasion, I had to ride across this large expanse of open space, and there was that whole herd of buffalo within a quarter mile of me, and of course they didn't pay me any attention, but I thought, my goodness, they came my way. Buffalo's a big animal, and I'll tell you, they sure do taste good. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have any comments or any ideas or any suggestions or anything else you want to say, please give us a hoot. I'd love to hear from you. And in the meantime, if you want to have a lot of fun, get yourself a deadwood stove and be frugal. Learn something about your fuel. If you use pine, the wood's not going to taste as good. And certainly, I got a message from a guy yesterday. In fact, I had to bring it up. Good point. Don't use pressure-treated wood or wood that has paint on it or any of that stuff. You can't use that kind of wood. I use good natural cherry and apple, and that really seems to do the trick. This meat is really looking nice. So I'll tell you what, it's about time for lunch. So I think I'm gonna say so long, and I hope you have a nice day. It's a beautiful day here, and I hope you're having a good day too. And let me know if this has been helpful to you. You take care.